Hello, I'm glad you're here. In this video, I'm going to help you solve this problem. We're going to determine which of the following equations represents the graph given, using the hint to use the formula sheet to determine the formula needed to solve the problem. So I know the formula that I need is the formula for an equation of a line, which reads y equals mx plus b. Your x and your y value in that equation would be an ordered pair where you have a value for x and value for y. You'd place the y where the letter y is, the value for x where the letter x is. Your m equals your slope. M always represents slope. And your b always represents your y-intercept. Your slope is the slant of your line, or how steep your line is, and your y-intercept is where your line intercepts with your y-axis. And your y-axis is the vertical axis, and your x-axis is the horizontal axis. Okay? Remember that. So when I look at these answer choices, they are not in the proper format because they don't say y equals mx plus b. The x's are all on the far left, and they need to be on the right of the y and also on the right of the equal sign. So the next thing I have to do, and I'm going to use my space at the bottom, is determine the true values for A, B, C, and D by working out these, and I have to manipulate them to make them look like y equals mx plus b. So I have to add the 2x to both sides. When I add it to this side, it's going to disappear. And when I add it to the other side, it's going to reappear as a positive 2x plus a negative 2. Now it's in the proper format. The slope is 2, and the y-intercept is negative 2. Now, you might not have to do all this work to solve this problem, but we're going to because we're practicing and we're learning. The y is right beside the equal sign, where it's supposed to be. I have to subtract 2x from both sides. It cancels out over here, and it appears over here. And then plus the negative 2 is still there. Now it's in the proper format. We have a slope of negative 2 and a y-intercept of a negative 2 also. Now we're going to work on C. Y equals mx plus b. We have a negative 2y. When we move this x, we subtract it. It disappears, but it has to be subtracted from both sides. And we have the plus and negative 4. Now I have to divide through by negative 2 because my formula calls for the y to be alone. There's an understood 1 in front of the x because how many x's are there? 1x. When you divide two negative numbers, your answer will be positive. When you divide two negative numbers, negative 4 and negative 2, your answer will be positive. Okay? And now we're going to do the last one, which is D. We're going to use the same formula for an equation of a line. We have 2y. When we move this x, it cancels out, but I have to do it from both sides. And I have to divide through by 2. There's an understood 1 right here. So I end up with y equals a negative 1x plus a negative 2. So we see what each of these equations for A, B, C, and D, what the equations of the line works out to be or ends up being, but we have to determine the y-intercept here. I see a negative 2, and the slope. I like to determine my slope by acting like this is me. From the far left, would it be sliding or climbing if I need to this was my destination. I'd be sliding, which means it's a negative slope. Then I can count down and over. From this point to that point, I go down 2 and over 1. So it's a -2 slope. So A has a +2 slope and a -2 y-intercept, so that can't be it. And B has a -2 slope and a -2 y-intercept. So B would be my correct choice.